Right, as John says, mostly it's verniers we're doing this week, and if possible a back plunger DTI. I'm well impressed with the comments and the amount of viewers we've had of the surface table that I ground up for Joel, and thank you very much for watching, and I hope you like the rest we're going to do. Let's get cracking. Right, if you all remember, I stripped this vernier down. It actually belongs to John. It's a Mutatuyo. It was full of muck, debris. It's what I call a rack type. It runs on a rack. Well, we've all seen this, how we use the ultrasonic tank. So I took it down home, stripped it, cleaned it, and now we're going to have to put it all back together again. So I put everything that I needed in a box. You're not seeing this because I'm out of shot. I'll just tip it all in there. And people go, oh, you put all them in there. Right, first job is we're going to have to refit the rack and figure out which way is which. Well, obviously they're only going one way. You're going to have to put the rack in and put the movement on and slide it up as one, because at the end of the rack the teeth don't go right to the end.
Hi, my name's John. Welcome to another video starring my friend Bob. Basically this week we're going to be doing verniers. He's going to put my vernier back together. He's got an electronic vernier there with a broken screen. He's going to have a good fix in that. The lad's just turned up, so how in Bob, let's have a start.
I'm coming. Lumberjacks are us.
Alright.
You
get yourself a sit.
As you can see on the bottom of the rack, there's no teeth right at the very end, so you have to put the movement and that on.
You can't just push the rack.
You kind of just push it up, exactly, because there's nothing there for the teeth to engage onto. Past there we go. We're flying.
What?
Oh yeah. What was in the way?
They're miserable little things, aren't they?
Alright. But with practice, and you just need to nip them up at present. You don't need to over tighten them or anything daft like that. Put them 2 long screws in, that'll hold the movement into there. Alright, big hands, big head. So that's that put together. And what we're going to do next is we're going to put this gib strip back in. It's cleaned. Remember, these 2 little screws, one's got a pip on it, the other one's blank, and the pip always goes into the notch. That's them in there now. Okay, so sliding it backwards and forwards. See how much tension's on without that. Well, there's another little screw there. Goes in that hole there. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. That's the little screw. Goes in the bottom. Always make sure you've got them screws nice and tight, because they do have a habit of dropping out. So that's back together on the rack, doing what it's supposed to do. The next thing to put on is the stop. Now, again, it's simple. Always make sure that you've got the screws nice and tight. Almost have missed them screws out when I did the ultrasonic cleaner. It's not, I'm not bothered. It's not critical. So the next thing is we'll put the dial on. Now, I have to take it back off. I forget something. It's alright, it's no hurt. I've had it to bits. It's been to bits that long. Can't remember how it goes back together. Shocking, man. That Mr. McCrab's just turned up. It'd help if I put my glasses on, you know.
A cup of coffee, mate.
I'll have a cup of coffee. It's stressing me out already, this thing. It's giving now. I've hit it with a hammer. And we've got it back together. Blooming thing. Now then, we've got to put the thumb screw back on. And the dial back on. And what the sundries, so there's not much left to do. So I'll put the thumb screw back on first. I can't have gone wrong with that. It's only one screw, he says. Yeah. You can't go wrong with anything. That's a thumb screw, it feels nice. Next thing is the dial. It's alright, I'm just giving it a clean. Put the dial back on. Obviously make sure the jaws is up close. And we want the hand to be on 12 o'clock or thereabouts, so somewhere near. Oops, it's alive. It's alive. It's alive. Just get it somewhere looks about right. Put the lens back on. I've polished the lens. It's just a push fit, like the little DTIs. Sorry if I'm running short. I'm just making sure the bezel's on properly. So it doesn't drop off when John drops it. Because he's bound to drop it. Tells us he doesn't, but I know he does. That looks there. There we go. That's that done. Now the other reveal is, can you remember what colour the box was? Black. There it is now. All nice and shiny, cleany. All I've done to clean this with is a nail brush, so what you clean your nails with, and soapy water, what you wash your pans and pots and pans up with. Took the sponge out, washed that, re-glued it back in. There we go. One nice shiny. Are you happy with that, John?
Lovely, mate.
And I've still left the sticky on. And I'll show you how I've left that on there.
And that's the real one, is it?
That's the proper one.
No, that's it. But so it's a real Muttertoyo.
Ah, it's a real Muttertoyo.
It's not a copy.
Not a copy. What I did with that label, I cleaned it as much as I possibly could with alcohol or rubbing alcohol. Then before I actually got this wet, I varnished over the top of it. So when I got it wet, I knew it wouldn't have fetched that label off because it's had a coat of varnish on. And that should stay clean.
Now you can speak.
This is the next Vernier sent to me by somebody off the watch the channels that I do with John. And what it is the glass on there is broken. Now I can fix them, but I can't fix them with glass because you can go and write, this is a moon right one, you can go and write and they won't sell you that glass. I know that because I've tried. I don't know why, I haven't got a clue why they make them out of glass, because I just think it's a case of making them redundant. You break the glass, the unit's no good, chuck it away, go and spend 70 quid on a new one. Well, you don't have to, because you can replace. I can sort of replace that silver bit. It's only paint. But you'll get ones where the glass is bigger and it's got printing on. Well, if you know which button's doing what, you can do the same. Now, I'll move the box out the way. What you need to fix it is some masking tape and a piece of our old nice welding helmet lens on a sharp knife. Or a knife blade. Be very careful when you're playing with knife blades. And typical, my masking tape's not playing nice. It's one of them days. Oh, sorry. Basically, you get a piece of masking tape and you put it over the remains of the broken lens. Now, the reason is you don't want them bits of glass to come off and get stuck in your fingers. Two, you want to keep it as whole as much as possible because you're going to use that to draw around to make a new lens. Now, you can use one of these, but be very, very careful because it's a standing knife blade. Get a bit of tape, just because I've got a bit of tape, and wrap the other end what you're not using, so you're not going to stick it in your hand, right? So it makes it sort of safe. So what you're going to do now,
Well, you just use a craft knife.
now be very careful, just go and you'll find a bit where you can get in with a knife. If I'm not moving the camera, I'm moving the blooming. What you're trying to do is get the knife blade underneath the glass and lever the glass up, just like that. It's hard to see on camera, but it is coming up. Once you get it moving, it's not too difficult. The other reason you're using the masking tape, it stops any little bits, or try to stop any little bits from going inside. As you'll see, the little bits are all over the place. Bit of a disaster, but the lens is well naffed. Get rid of that. Now, I'll just move that out there. You can't really hurt it because there's a lens under another lens, if you understand what I mean. And this top lens, this bit here, I'm stuck to my finger, is only actually held in by double-sided sticky tape, which is this stuff here. So it's flashing like a good nut. So much need in your battery, you know. Take the battery out. Remove. Yeah, there's people go to complain I'm using my fingers, but believe me, my fingers is thick enough. Get as much out possibly can without doing any rubbing. Blow, and voila, we've got the lens out. Now, doesn't take much, just gently with a nice flat bladed screwdriver as you start removing the double-sided sticky tape. Now, as I say, I just think it's a ploy for you to go out and buy another another Vernier when you break the glass. Because to me, it's perfectly okay having one that's made of plastic, because if you scratch it, like I've shown you with the lenses, you can polish it out. Now, I buy Verniers for $9.99 at the budget supermarket, because they don't last 5 minutes where I work. They're good enough what I do with them. People say, oh, they're not make, but I don't work with microns. But if you're going to be that accurate, that's where you should be using a Vernier, not a Vernier, a micrometer, not a Vernier. Because it doesn't matter what make of Vernier you get, it'll come with a spec sheet. And in that spec sheet, it'll give you a plus or minus to the run out. Doesn't matter if it's a Vernier, if it's a Moore and Wright, a Verdict, or whoever makes it, it'll have the spec sheet in, and it'll tell you the run out, plus or minus, whatever. Just say seed. Down here where it's had the major break, down in this corner, the bottom lens has been scratched. Now, I'm not at home, but I can polish that scratch out. You use what is known as jeweler's rouge, because this is actually glass, it's not plastic. So you get this piece of your magic stick or a piece of pegwood, that's that round stuff, and a bit of jeweler's rouge, and you rub it on there. Metal cleaner won't do it, it's too not coarse enough, but the jeweler's rouge will polish that scratch out. So we've cleaned that up basically. Now what we're going to do is we're going to remake this lens. Now you do, if you've got a DTI which got a broken lens and you've only got half, you can use the same technique. So it's only a bit of helmet lens what I've had before, and I keep them, I don't throw them all away, and I'll draw around it with a pencil. I'll try it now, roughly to where it ends, as much as I possibly can. Then I'll flip it over, and you get a guide from where the other half used to be. And all you're using it for is a guide. Now what we've got to do is we've got to cut that shape out and make it fit there. Now that's another thing I want to ask for John. A pair of scissors or a pair of tin snips? Participation. Now you may find some of these might vary in thickness compared to the glass, but don't worry about it. As I say, I can't reproduce accurately that silver painted line. I can get it somewhere near, but really there's no need, because that blue, see it inside, it's only a decorative finish, but the guy was happy for me to do it, because it saves chucking, how much was one of them Moore and Wright ones? 40-50 quid?
Debsy's scissors.
Debsy's scissors. Oh, I'll have to get wrong with Debsy's now. So you can use a pair of scissors to cut it. It's not hard, it's not... Sorry, I'm working out the shot again. No, I won't go to OTT because I'll have to finish this down home, because I kind put it in because I've got that scratch to polish out. But you trim it somewhere near. Sorry, I was out of shot. All I've gone is trimmed it somewhere to near the size. Then I'll have to make it fit into there. But as I say, it's scratched down here. On this right, you can't see it on camera, but you can see it. Yeah. And if I put the lens on, or try and put the lens on, you'll see the scratch underneath. And
the camera will pick it up, Bob.
I'd rather do a half decent job.
There you can see it there in the corner. Bottom right hand corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take Debsy's scissors back. No, you'll shout at you. And basically all it's a case of is getting a filing that till it fits. As I say, you've got the template there. Just stick it on. You get a bit of super glue or something and tie it on and see how far you're off. And so the next video you'll see of this, it'll be all done like this. Well, that's that sorted. The chain had scratched, but I'll sort that out. And I'll put a new battery in for him as well because his battery's flashing.